Welcome back. It's Mark here at the Car Squawk Talk today, Monday night, and we're here. I have some information. I've done some research lately, and I found something that you personally, if you are a BMW owner, you want to know this. You need to know this, and you need to inform yourselves, inform others and friends that might have BMWs that there is a real problem out there lingering, and it might cause you grief if you do not handle it accordingly. So anyway, let's get started. This episode is really regarding BMW Fires. Not sure if you've heard of late, but there's BMWs have been igniting across the nation, igniting across the planet. Now, BMW's been approached about this conversation, and they've said, with almost 5 million vehicles on the road, this problem doesn't seem to be able to be pinpointed for any real reason. I guess any vehicle can really ignite for any number of reasons, but there seems to be a growing trend, and a trend that seems to afflict 3 Series, 5 Series, M cars, X cars, pretty much everything you can imagine is afflicted. So it's not like a particular string of vehicles. It also seems to afflict cars of earlier vintage, maybe early 2000s. We've got cars that make the list of 2012s, 2015s that have ignited. Now, when I say ignited, really what I'm trying to get at is here, the point that seems to be happening here is a driver will drive their BMW, they will park it on their driveway, in their garage, or at a friend's place, or wherever they park it. They turn the key off, they go in the house. Well, what's been happening in some cases, and again, it's not extremely widespread at this time, however, it has been happening, and there's enough cases to warrant some discussion around this. And I would suggest that you do a little research. There's a little more information that I think you need to arm yourself with to really fully understand this topic. But what's really happening after the car has been sitting, it's not even while it's running, it's actually while it's sitting, it's been discovered that many vehicles have self-combusted. They've basically ignited and burned basically flat to the ground. So why is this happening? Well, there doesn't seem to be any issue in the fuel system at this time. There doesn't seem to be an issue in anything that way mechanically or fuel-wise. There have been many cases where firefighters have been responding to the situation of the fire and have concluded, very conclusively, I might add, that virtually every case is related to an electrical fire. Electrical. Now, there's various reasons why an electrical fire can start. There could be a bad connection, there could be faulty equipment, there could be a heavy overload, maybe a bad battery or a poor installation of some new electrical component. There's a lot of reasons why an electrical failure can happen. An electrical failure which could yield a fire and naturally, of course, burn your vehicle down. Well, in this case, some of the firefighters have kind of narrowed it down to potentially water, moisture. It almost looks like, well, not almost, there actually appears to be, if you search online, you'll find there is currently what appears to be a class action lawsuit now. Now, this is just something I'm hearing about. I'm not affiliated with any of this. I don't know any of these people that may be engaged in this activity, but I have heard that there may be a class action lawsuit. Now, what does that really boil down to? I think you need to do your homework and see what this really means. Is there a particular model year, make, model, any of that stuff that's a potential problem here? Now, the other thing, of course, is we need to understand is there are a lot of vehicles on the road, and we don't really want to beat up on BMW at this time. We just need to make ourselves more intelligent on this topic and try to gain an understanding as to what's actually happening out there. Is there a real problem, a real potential crisis? I've heard a lot of horror stories. I've done a ton of research, and I've seen a lot of stories where maybe somebody was potentially self-inflicted. Possibly a vehicle was rear-ended and then they just watch their M3 go up in flames. Well, that can happen. You ignite a fuel line or something like that, that can happen, of course. But there's a ton of cases where people have stories where, they parked their car in the garage, the car basically ignited and wiped out the entire garage. Or a case where the car basically ignited on the driveway and all they could do helplessly was watch from outside the window and observe as their car basically leveled out into ashes on the driveway. So at the end of the day, some of this research that I've found seems to be related to electrical parts and potentially moisture/condensation located in trunk spaces, storage or trunk areas, faulty modules, and things along those lines. Like I said, I don't entirely have the full scoop yet. They're still working out the details. I don't think everybody really has a full understanding yet, but it is very important, and in my mind it's imperative that you do your research and try to determine whether your car is a potential victim of this issue. Now, I personally am a owner of 2 BMWs, and I love the cars. They are amazing. I've got an M5 E60, and I've also got an X5 with a 3.5D. So, I love those 2 vehicles, and if you've probably seen some of my videos regarding those cars, I really do love them, and I really would hope that I never have to experience such an atrocity as that. But that being said, I am going to be doing a little more research, and this video strictly is here to inform you folks out there. Exercise extreme caution. Please do your due diligence, do a little more research, and understand this. If this happens to you, there are a lot of people out there that have recently been through the same situation. Please do your homework. Please try to prevent this, and maybe there's something that you can share with my channel here. If you know personally an experience that you've had, or a friend or a relative, or you've been through a bad situation like this, please share that in my comment section below. That would help immensely, because I'd like to consider this a focal point for those owners of BMWs that have been through this particular issue and have experienced this nightmare of BMW loss, ownership, and then of course the loss. I've also heard that of course BMW has been a little bit sticky and difficult to deal with on some of these matters. Again, hearsay possibly. I hope we don't have to discover that problem ourselves. The best thing I can do and the best thing I can suggest is ensure that you have full insurance coverage that will protect you, your family, and your house from these particular problems. So I hope this helps everybody out there. Like I said, in summary, I just want to use this as a bit of a light shedding opportunity to hopefully give you some power and some kind of information, at least get the ball rolling and trying to understand where these issues can be. Do you have a vehicle that is possibly a problem child? And what do we do going forward? So again, please do subscribe. I really do hope you subscribe to my channel. Every Monday night we'll be creating more of these type of videos, more informational, more banter sessions. But of course, between time there, I do numerous test drives. I feature exotic cars, supercars, racing videos. I'm really into the supercar, high performance car genre. So please do subscribe, like, comment, and we'll talk to you on the next one. Thanks again, guys and gals. Bye-bye.